Into Hellfire, a light in the darkness. Tour, Chapter 0, Part 1. The wind from the north sent a chill down the boy's spine, but he enjoyed it. Tor had hiked up the mountain trail near his village earlier to find a quiet place to think. His father was coming to see him for the first time. In his 12 years of life, he had never seen him. Most of the children of his village knew their parents and lived with them. Fate, it would seem, had denied him that. He looked down at his hands and wondered if his father would have the same skin as him. The light green skin of his arms was the departure from his mother's dark green. Tor had become aware that he wasn't like the other children of the village. His mother had explained that since his father was human, that he wouldn't look like a full-blooded orc. The other kids had picked on him when he was younger, but then his mother had begun training him as a warrior, and his mind had been put at ease from it. He wasn't as strong as some of the other boys, but what he lacked in raw strength, he made up for in speed and wits. The sound of a horn caught his attention, and the young boy looked down the trail back toward the village. There was a wagon heading toward the main entrance, and Tor realized that it must be his father. Taking a deep breath, he rose to his feet and began the trek home. As he made it to the rear entrance of the village, he noticed that some of the warriors looked on edge. Normally they were in a jovial mood, but not this day. They didn't like outsiders, and they especially didn't like humans. He saw his mother walking towards the wagon and moved to stand behind her. She looked over at her son, and then up at the man from her past. She had hoped that Vic would like him. The cleric of Horde stepped down from the wagon and greeted her with a hug. Once he had been a warrior, but turned to the clergy after a moral dilemma forced him to leave the army.
Shara, it has been too long.
Yes, it has.
She motioned down to her son, and the boy walked over to stand beside her. Tor looked up at the face that resembled his own. The man had a brown beard, and his head was shaved. The thing that caught the young half-orc's attention the most was his father's eyes. They were the same forest green as his.
Tor, it is a pleasure to finally meet you.
The man extended his hand, and the young half-orc took the man in his warrior's grip, wrist to wrist. The strength of the boy's hand surprised the older man, but he would expect nothing less from a child raised by Shara.
It is nice to meet you too.
Vic could not help but be impressed by his son's bearings.
Has your mother prepared you for the journey?
The young boy nodded and left to go get his traveling pack. Shara's gaze went to her son as he was walking away and then turned back to Vic.
Will you teach him your ways?
Yes, you have taught him to fight, and I will teach him to control his gift.
Vic and Shara exchanged a long gaze, staring into each other's eyes. The spark of what once was still igniting between them. A silent understanding of care and also love passed between them.